Hello, friends, and welcome to another exciting episode of Snap Judgments. I am, as always, not Roy Rogers, but instead Aaron Pulse Glazer. I am joined by Nick Papadababadabadoo, Nick the Greek Geek. That is how you say his name, Nick. Did I do a really good job pronouncing the Greek name?
Phenomenal job. It is exactly like that. My Cypriot ancestors are very proud.
Cyprian, that's a word I know. I definitely know the meaning of that word. I thought you were Canadian, but like you're the Greek Geek, you're very, very culturally confused sometimes.
All the time, actually, if we were being completely honest. I came out of the womb confused, and I figured there's no reason to change that at any point in time.
Oh, we still have Gunny on our intro. I told you I'd mess something up for this.
Mhm.
That you are Nick, not Gunny, and I am Glazer, not Roy. So we're just going to continue on with Johnny Nine Toes, who is in fact now the 10th toe popped out of his wife, strangely, and now he is a father. Welcome to Tucker, the Pirate King.
What an introduction. Holy moly. It is great to be back, but oh my god.
I think I broke him. He can't even speak.
Oh, that is actually mad funny. Holy moly.
I mean babies sort of look like toes, right? That's how that happened in my brain.
Mm-hmm. Totally.
Right. So, first of all, I think this is the first time on since then. Congrats. It's awesome.
Thank you.
But also, Tuck, who are you? What do you do?
I'm Tucker. I am a Twitch streamer / YouTuber, streaming and creating content for the Marvel Snapperonis. We do this every month with Glazer. We get to talk about the new cards. It's a lot of fun. And then I have a little podcast with Not My Dance as well, called Marvel Yap. But yeah, that's pretty much the gist of it.
Hey, dude, spell your name.
Tuccrr. The original Tucker has been taken, so I had to do some weird spelling for it.
That is absolutely no problem. However, I have definitely had people like, I can't find Tucker, and they're spelling it like the normal way, and I'm like, well, we all see the problem now. We are also joined by the one member of the Marvel Snap community who doesn't care if anyone watches him because he puts up his YouTube videos specifically for someone to watch. He doesn't stream on Twitch. In fact, he wants your attention for much longer. It is the most prolific writer in all of Marvel Snap. It is Den. And Den, you may have to murder Scott from SnapFan in order to guarantee that title, but hey, you're French. I figure you have no problem with murder.
No, we're good.
We'll pretend
we
he's a
learned
king.
that about 300 years ago.
Yeah, exactly.
We just have to yell freedom while we do it, and we're good. No judge can touch us.
That's amazing. I need to be French and then visit my politicians. I didn't say that. The FBI is not going to visit me. Den, how can our friends find you?
On Marvel Snap Zone, or if you speak French and wander YouTube at random, maybe you'll find me there.
The YouTube is really, really delightful. I don't speak French. You do not need to speak French for the YouTube to be a thing. But make sure you read Marvel Snap Zone. The meta tier list is amazing. One of my favorite parts is you can tell sometimes he puts things in S tier that he doesn't really like. He's like, look, the stats say it.
I never like a lot of the decks.
Yeah. I don't know. It just keeps winning. It's got a really good Cuban win rate. It's fine. It's whatever. You can play it.
Yeah. It's so annoying that I have to respect things.
Yeah. Well, if you yell freedom, you can just kill those decks too.
Oh. Okay.
And Nikki, how can our friends find you? He's just going to talk muted for a while. So I'll tell you how you can find us while he figures out where his mute button is. You can find us at Snap Judgments Pod over on YouTube, where I release a video every single day. Honestly, fairly often 2 videos a day because I'm a maniac. I write an article every weekday on Marvel Snap Zone. It's just a quick hitter of here's a cool deck. Here's how you play it. And then some maybe thoughts about the new card. So if you're interested in that, check it out. I am also streaming on Twitch almost every day at twitch.tv/PulseGlazer. So if you're interested in that, do check that out as well. Now that Nick has found his mute button, Nick, how can our friends find you?
You can find me by going to twitch.tv/NickDugReekGeek in the title. Please don't ask me to spell it. I don't know how. But I stream there occasionally. Been trying to stream more frequently, but then, people are like, can you help me? And I'm like, sure. And then that's all there is to it. But I'm in everybody's stream. So if you're looking for me, that's probably where I'll be if I'm not streaming.
He blames everyone else, but it's no one else's fault that he goes to sleep at 5 a.m. and then wakes up at 2 p.m. every day. So,
wake up at
there can't be streaming time anywhere in there. Impossible.
I just need to go back to my old style of doing it and just do the late shift and take Tucker's followers after they're done and Pawnee's after she's done and stay up till 6 a.m. streaming.
I mean, you're up
That
till 6 in the
worked.
morning anyway. Might as
I
well.
know. Might as well.
All right. With that, we're not going to go over what snap packs are because at this point, you should know what snap packs are. If you need like a bigger breakdown, check last week's video. But we do need to talk about how snap packs have been received. We've now got 2 weeks of snap packs. We've got a new release schedule. All things snap packs. I feel like I'll just throw this in the air and we'll throw it to Tucker. How do you feel about snap packs / the new system / multiple card releases? All of it.
I am a fan of snapbacks, and I think what I've really liked is that the community has had more access to be able to get cards they haven't been able to get. And I think even though there is a low percentage to be able to get multiple cards in packs, I've been hearing more people say they've been able to get multiple cards in packs, which is, I think, really beneficial opposed to like the spotlight system before, and be able to kind of target a little bit better than just having to rely on a spotlight and having no dupe protection, I think was one of the major downsides. So I'm pro snapbacks.
Then
I think snap packs are really good for people able to control the odds or willing to like put in the work to do a little bit of math. But in general, I feel like a lot of people aren't happy with snap packs. Like all the people in the middle, like not collection complete and not needing a lot of cards, they're like all in that zone where you're like 20% to get the cards you want. And then if you don't get it, and if you don't get like amazing rewards, I don't know. People said they got like 5,000 tokens in a pack. I've got 50 personally.
Me too. 5,000 means that you would have gotten a card, but you have all the other cards in that pack.
But I had boosters with it, so I guess it's fine. But yes, it's true. I had boosters with it. But yeah, I feel like overall at the moment, like snap packs have been very like yes or no, depending if you get the better end or the worst end of it, and hopefully it just like kind of like gets equal. And I think it's a fine system for now. But I'm almost collection complete, so the system was taught for me in a way.
Nick?
I like the system, but being collection complete also means that it only costs me, opening one pack in order to get the card of that week. There's no opening any of the other packs or getting anything else outside of that. So I will say it takes away some of the excitement, so to speak, of, rolling those keys. As much as it sucked more often than it didn't, there was still something about that, hit that one hit of that one roll of the key, getting the card that you want, or, if you want the variant, you buy it, you get that one roll. That I think is something that I miss. I worry for the people that are not just not collection complete, but that are quite a ways away from being collection complete. Rolling for a series 5 card is cool, but if half of those cards are cards you don't care about, I don't know how much better we are than the spotlight system. I think that's where we run into a bit of a problem and a bit of a pain point for those players that are trying to get more cards. I think it's still better all in, but it's going to take time before we really see how this impacts those players that, maybe weren't really playing before and have come back to the game, but have a lot of cards that they're missing. So what does that look like for them is kind of where I'm interested in seeing where that lies after a couple of months.
Well, a bunch of people are back. Like Quinny, a bunch of people have messaged me. Savage Yeti, a bunch of people who quit Snap are like now dabbling. I think Drewberry is buying cards again all of a sudden. There's quite a few old Marvel Snap creators, and I'd assume if some creators are coming back, then so are plenty of like regular old folks. What are they finding when they come back? Well, what they're finding is that they're not going to be complete. This system doesn't help you become complete unless you're already complete. It just doesn't. It's not a good way to like get there. It does help you build whatever deck you want. You can save up and have patience and lock things, and you can get whatever deck you want, which I think has a lot of value, right? Snap packs themselves, I think, are largely useless unless you have everything in the pack. I think you should fundamentally almost never open them. Like, unless you have everything and you're getting one thing or two things that you both really want, then there's not really a point in dabbling with snap packs. What the system is I get tokens at a reasonable rate, and I can buy the card I want for 6,000 tokens. And if that card goes in a deck I want, I can get it. I can buy the card I want for 3,000 tokens if it's Series 4. And now, like, I don't have to dabble. I don't have to fuck around and like be like, oh my god, this isn't going to be in spotlights for years, and they give me 50 tokens at a time. No. I can just go buy the shit I want, and that's really, really good. I do think that they are going to take care of older players. I think that's what the archetype specific packs, if not the creator packs necessarily, but at least the archetype specific packs will be that. I think the archetype specific packs are ultimately going to be the way to be like, oh, I want a bunch of cards, and that there should be a reasonable discount, and then you just go, there's no duplicates, right? So you just go boom, 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 I'm done with that deck, and now I've got even more cards at a better rate. I think that's really cool.
I
think that's
agree that these snapbacks can make like a huge difference. If they're priced the right way, they can really make the system amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, my favorite thing about them so far, and this is entirely selfish, outside of the return of some friends, which is obviously great, right? The return of a bunch of friends is great. But like, my favorite thing about them is that they're now going to just cold dump 3 to 5 Series 4 cards on us once in a while. And holy shit, was that fun? Those weren't like even like, I mean, besides Batrock the Den, those cards were very like fine, right? Nothing was amazing, but like just getting 4 cards, and then everyone's like, this week it's just everyone's playing Surge, right? Like Surge, who we'll talk about soon, but like Surge, and then more Surge, and you're like, oh great, hey look, they had Surge on too. Oh my god, look, Surge! I never would have thought it's Surge, and then like that's a regular card release, right? Well, now we actually have a shakeup on that. Now we'll have a week where there's like 3 or 4, and people will get different ones, and that makes the game, I think, significantly more interesting. Further thoughts, follow-ups, or are we good?
I like that pick actually a lot.
Sorry, go ahead.
Nick, you got it.
I think one of the things that I'm also still waiting to see is, the release of the Spotlight variants, because I know there's a lot of us out there that are interested in those Spotlight variants. And, they made clear today, I think it was Griffin or someone from SD said today that they would be available for gold. They did not specify when or how much. I think the general consensus was that it was going to be this month. But I think, if they're going to price them at, gold prices, that's where I'm wondering where that kind of total fits in and see, what the cost is going to be. Because, if they charge 2,400 gold, I was planning on doing the math before this episode, but I didn't get a chance to see, if they say charge 2,400 gold, is that still a net positive with the spend? I'm sure it is, but I just don't know, combining that with collecting a lot of the cards. And even if some of those cards, because they made it very clear that the Series 4 cards that they're releasing, I don't think any of them since Cassandra Nova, I know she was a Series 5, but have variants to them at all.
Tucker?
Yeah, that's also a good point. But I think, like you said too, Glazer, like what I really like is like last week we had 4 cards to play with. I'm interested to see when we have weeks like that, if they're not all the same archetype. Like they're not just all move cards. I think that'll also be very fun to see. Oh, what are they playing here? Oh, what are they playing here? Whereas like with Batroc and, you had Topaz and Fade and Fade, they're move cards. And like you saw, of course, 2 more than, maybe Fanfei. But I think what's really interesting is if they do release some of these, like, Datamine cards, of course, they're subject to change or whatever at some point. Like if there are different like style cards coming out weekly, kind of like how when we had Sanctum Showdown, we had Uncle Ben, we had Laufey, and then we had Gorgon, which is 3 different cards, which I think is kind of what kind of gave them the idea. Oh, we can maybe do some system like this to kind of get all these cards to release at a certain time. And I think what's cool with like the snap packs too is like, of course, it's still low odds, like I was talking about too, but the opportunity to potentially get more than 1 card in like the new seasonal packs and stuff. So it's not as much as it feels bad as, well, I just got Gorgon. I don't really want to play any control or Ronin style deck right now. I wanted to get Uncle Ben, but there's still that small chance you gamble your odds just a little bit to be able to get another card. So it's a little bit less feels bad. But I think the best point I've heard so far, Glazer, is like what you said, being able to get 3,000 tokens every single time, like every 120 collection levels, is really good to help you really pinpoint cards better, and just really pinning cards and stuff like that's gonna be better, of course, towards more collection complete people still, I think, because there's so many cards that rotate in the shop. Like I feel like so many people just get duplicate of the same card rotating in their shop for collector's tokens all the time. So I wonder if there's maybe a way that they could kind of change that a little bit. Maybe you don't get the same card every single day, because I feel like still people are getting that, which really feels bad for people that are less collection complete. or they just don't get it for like 3 or 4 days too. Like it's very. I wonder if there's a way to kind of change, or maybe it is with the archetype packs or the teams packs, whatever, to kind of change the way that might happen in the game.
I agree with everything Tucker said. I want to just quickly note that Spotlight variants are going to be more expensive.
Yeah.
Spotlight variants were a thing that was for people who were basically collection complete, right? Who had almost everything or almost everything they wanted. If you didn't have everything or almost everything you wanted and you got a Spotlight variant, you were being foolish. So the resource that they were for was fundamentally tokens before. Spotlight keys / tokens, right? Well, it's going to be gold now, and I have fundamentally infinite tokens, right? But I don't have infinite gold. My gold will eventually run out, so it's automatically going to be more expensive. We should probably wrap our minds around that. But again, like, so be it. If they're going to monetize the shit out of the game, every bit that they monetize variants and cosmetics more is me being a little bit happier.
Yep.
Agreed.
All right, let's talk new cards. Starting with the Season Pass card. Esme, her, Cuckoo. I think it's Esme, maybe. 3/4, on reveal, copy a card from your deck into your hand, set its cost to 3 and power to 4. Den?
So far, like when I play her in great decks, such as Silver Surfer, I feel like she's the worst card in the deck. And when I play her in bad decks, she's the best card in the deck, but the deck isn't good enough. That would be my assessment. Like I played her today in Surfer to get a feel for it and to know what to say tonight. And the reality is I only played her into like when I had very, very specific hands and never when I had other options. Because the thing is, Esme isn't a 3/4. It's like a 6/8. Because if you play her and you don't play the card she gives you, it's a 3/4 do nothing, which in today Marvel Snap is absolutely terrible. So most of the time, you kind of commit to those extra 3 energies. And so when you look at your curve and you're like, okay, but next turn I want to play like Galacta or Gwenpool or whatever, and then turn 5 I want to do this. And like, for example, you already played Surge, so you're kind of committed to playing the card you draw every turn. Suddenly you're like, where the hell do I find those 3 energy? And so I find that Esme is more of a card that helps certain decks where they're like, if I don't find that card, my deck is terrible. And Esme is like sort of an extra draw, or it opens like get twice that card, which makes your deck completely busted. But so far, I haven't found a great deck where Esme is also great. She's either bad in great decks or good in not good enough decks if I want it to be competitive.
Tucker?
So I used Esme to actually hit Infinite. I used her in 2 different kind of similar style decks. And I remember when I was first looking at this card, in a sense, it reminded me of Agent Venom, just with the value of adding extra base power to a card, such as like the Iron Man, the Gore, and like Darkhawk. And Darkhawk, of course, is what I use to get like the extra value itself too. And I think it's, of course, like Dunn said, it's great. Like in that sense, like it is a 6/8 because you do have to play the next card in order to actually get value from this card, which is why I like gambling it more with greedier cards like an Iron Man or like a Gore or like a Darkhawk, because a 3/4 Darkhawk, I mean, you know why Zabu got changed, you know why Darkhawk's not a 4 cost, like because of situations like that. And then also like I had like 3/0 kind of like 3 cost cards in my deck. Like I had a Cassandra Nova. Like Esme hitting Cassandra Nova later in the game actually is not that bad, since even though they've drawn a lot of cards, she's now starting with 4 power before she then steals power. And then Mystique also getting hit by Esme is really nice, because then she's a 3/4, and like you have like all these other ongoing cards, I feel like, that gets the value. Like this is a Mr. Negative-esque card where like you're trying to kind of get that combo piece going, which feels really good. But it also feels like Mr. Negative, because those are the type of cards that you get the good value from. And then it feels like Agent Venom, just in a sense. It's not the same, because Agent Venom, of course, hits the entire deck. But it's that like, okay, well, I had this ongoing card that was going to do just nothing pretty much by itself and just be an immediate Red Guardian target. But now it has power and has more backing. And then if I draw this card also again, then I have 2 of these to be able to mess around with. And it just felt pretty good hitting more of an ongoing style deck with Esme, opposed to maybe like an on-reveal style.
Yeah, Esme is a card that I was intrigued about, but I haven't really played a ton. It's interesting because I'm like the reference with Agent Venom. Like I see her purpose, but I don't think I fully see what's the full plan with her. Like when I played her versus when I played Surge, Surge feels like that card that can constantly bring stuff in, but Cuckoo just doesn't. She doesn't feel season passy to me yet, so I'm hoping that will change. I hope I can find something that will work and make her feel like not broken, but just this is a strong card, and now I just don't know what its identity is.
I think I agree with Tucker, like in the way when he said like you have to go on going. I don't think like Esme is made to be like sort of balanced. Is like I haven't found like fine targets. It's like you're either disappointed or you're like, all right, I'm snapping this. It's really really good. So there are certain cards where I mean, in the end, I kind of like cards like this because it's called Marvel Snap. So you're looking for reasons to snap.
Yep.
And when you push the concept, Esme is a card that opens opportunities to snap. So in that way, she's a good season pass card. The problem is she's limited, and I think with the period, like I think some of us aren't out of the like Iron Patriot, Galacta, Sam Wilson season pass period where we're like, you better be the best card I've seen in my life because I paid for you. And I think Agamotto wasn't there. Captain Carter had to be buffed to get there, and now Esme is in that line, but it doesn't mean she's bad. It just means that she's specific. And I mean, it's not necessarily a bad thing. It just, unfortunately, you just can't look at Esme and be like, win me games.
Yeah.
Like, we have to work for it. It's annoying.
Yeah. So she's going to go, I think, in every like Wiccan and negative deck forever, right? Like the easy way to use her is just, I want to see this key card, usually on turn 4, so I can play her on curve. And if I play a 3/4 negative, which I did yesterday, that feels real good. If you play a 3/4 Wiccan, you're like, I guess I lost a couple power. My extra 4 energy, I'll have to make up 2 power. You're pretty good at doing that, right? Like it goes in those decks. Victoria Hand's going to want it forever because not only does it give you an extra chance at seeing Victoria Hand, because what the hell does Victoria Hand do without Victoria Hand? But it's a generated card. So even if it doesn't have Victoria Hand, it's something that you can buff, something you can make cheaper with Quinjet and shit. Those are fine. I think those are sort of solved, right? Like we know those decks exist. We know the ongoing stuff is pretty solid. We know that like we can build a Gore, build a Darkhawk, build a Iron Man. And those are the ones where like your hits feel really bad when they miss. Although like getting a 3/4 Mystique or a 3/4 Sage does feel pretty solid in that kind of shell. So there's like stuff. I think I'm really curious to see how she works. I think the like home that hasn't been explored yet is how she works with Anti-Venom and Luke Cage, because the card will keep its power if you have Luke Cage out. I was able to, it was an unfit parrot deck. He had Eliath in it, right? And I played a 3/4 Eliath that turned off my opponent's cards, and I had a Luke on the board. And then what I really played was a 3/9 Eliath. And all of a sudden, that's this incredibly powerful thing I'm doing, instead of just like playing extra stuff, right? I'm very, very happy that they didn't accidentally pig it. I was convinced they were going to accidentally pig it, and Mobius was going to make the damn card 0, and we would have a problem. But like it's decent with Pixie, and Pixie, for all her like we shit on Pixie all the time. I shit on Pixie all the time. I'm not gonna I don't.
I love Pixie.
Yeah, but Pixie's really good with Esme Cuckoo, right? Like we were just like, I've got a bunch of random costs. Let's Esme Cuckoo one of them. Like who cares? That's totally fine because those decks run high and low anyway, and you're totally fine just with an extra shot at an extra powerful card. And the second I said Pixie, it's like the Eco Whisperer turns up in chat. Ridiculous. Just gonna go to bed and say Pixie, and then all of a sudden there's gonna be a Georgian Canadian above my head. All right. Either way, so I do think this card is good. I think it's very likely to be very good. I think it's underappreciated because it doesn't go in good stuff builds, and I think Marvel Snap players tend to underrate anything that's not a good stuff card. It either builds an archetype all by itself, it's Bullseye, right? Or it goes in that same good stuff shell that we're all playing, or it's junk. And I think people are in the it's junk mode, but like it has a lot of real homes right now. And I think that like at least negative is absolutely terrifying. This feels like, and I don't have all the stats, and I'm going to make Den look, the highest win rate negatives had in quite a while. Not cube rate, right? Negatives got the cube rate that negatives got. But this feels like this really helps the win rate of negative, right? Because if they play Esme and Snap and you're negative, and you know they're negative, what do you do?
Give me a sec.
then
Run
we'll take
away.
care of this. Yeah, you run,
Okay.
right? Like, you're supposed to run at the very least. You can choose to stay, and you might get rewarded sometimes, but most of the time, you're just giving them extra cubes.
Is there a negative? There's not really a negative at the top of the ladder. I'm looking at like ranks from 80 to. Oh yeah, there's one. Okay, 56% is crazy for negative.
Yeah, right?
Mhm.
56% in negative is a lot. That's usually a 51, 52% deck. So, like, Esme really does help with that kind of deck. I think we will. It's not a Wiccan meta, but if we see a Wiccan meta, all of a sudden, like, we're back. I just think this is a card that's going to be very, very strong and is at least worth messing with for now.
I would like to see Esme in a tournament setup
Mhm.
because I would like to see good players bluff snap their way to victory and everyone be like, all right, he must have got the nuts. I'm going to retreat. And at the end of the tournament, that person is like, I don't know. I just played Esme and snapped. Everybody left, so I just kept doing it. Because, on ladder, there's always going to be people that are like, you know what? I'm going to stay. I want to see. I want that. But
Mhm.
when there's money on the line, people don't mess around that much.
Well, we know Second Dinner is hosting a tournament, I think, this month. So let's see if Esme, who's not very good otherwise, suddenly like matters in that tournament, right? I mean, I would assume people have to bring negative to that tournament. I have to bring, Mobius to that tournament. Because otherwise, negative's just a nightmare to deal with,
I'm
right?
playing. I'm playing Mobius in a lot of decks personally. Like,
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
One question that I have, I know this was talked about, and I haven't tested this out. I haven't tested it in a Surfer deck. The capitalized C for cost. Does this work with Surfer? I know a lot of
No.
people were asking that. So it does not work with Surfer. So
absolutely
it's just
not.
okay.
It's like basically anytime a card is transformed, it's transformed in your hand. As soon as it hits the board, it goes back to its base value database one.
Well, and usually before it was the capitalization seemed to be what that factored in as, because for somewhere like
Yeah,
I
they
forget
just
the
are
location.
inconsistent.
Yeah, would be nice if it was a bit more consistent.
So it's still okay in Surfer, right? There's a Surfer build. I wish I remembered whose it was, but someone has a really solid Surfer build that's just using her for Serra. Right, like, it's using her for Serra and Galacta, and if you hit a Serra or Galacta or an extra Surfer or a Brood, you're fine. You don't go all in on her. She's not something you're crazy about. If she hits a 3, guess what? That's a 3, right? So, like, if she hits a Brood, you just got a 3/4 Brood.
I think she's really slept on with Makari.
Yeah.
Like, when you Esme Makari, you're like, oh, also you're 3/8. Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Wait, in the Surfer deck, you're 3/12. Oh, that's really, really good. It's like,
yeah. Look, she's not broken, but I think she's very good, and just like our biases really affect how we look at her.
I think she's like Carter last season, except she's probably a little better than 4/3 Carter. But
I think she's a lot.
I mean, eventually, like, people figured out the right way to build ongoing with Carter, and suddenly we're like, wait, is it really a 4/3? Like, because I never see this card as a 4/3. Like, on average, it's 4/15. So maybe I'll just take a little bit of time, and yeah, maybe at the end of the day, we won't play it in Surfer anymore, but negative will be like 3% more consistent, and everybody's going to bitch about it.
It's also worth noting that if this card doesn't perform, you know what they're going to do, right?
Buff it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. This will be a 3/5 like tomorrow. If they're like, we're not getting $10 nearly enough. We need that sweet, sweet $10. $9.99 from everyone. 3/5. Because I think as a 3/5, this might be like, oh shit, a problem.
Like Copycat. Think of Copycat at 3/5. You know?
Yeah.
I mean,
and it did take them a while to buff Carter. Like, Carter was not a quick thing. I was surprised how long it took before they made any changes.
Well, it's just there's 2 OTAs a month, and the first one was the same week Carter came out.
I didn't put it in the article on Marvel Snap Zone, but that's something I mentioned, like, in the video about the card. I was like, for Second Dinner to not have made a Season Pass 3 card 5 power, they saw something. Because the norm now is 3/5, and this is a Season Pass, and we know they probably always default pick the like slightly better stat when they have to choose. So at least for like the first week or so, I'm gonna assume they had more time than us to test it. So if it's a 3/4, maybe we missed something. Maybe in 2 weeks, and it still doesn't work, or like the decks that we found get countered too easily. I'll be like, oh, maybe it could have been a 3/5. But for now, I'm on the train that maybe we should work a little bit more on it.
I mean, want it to be the best card in the game, you make it a 2/3 or a 2/2. That makes a 3/4.
I mean, best card in the game, make it a 1/20.
Well, sure, but like without like fundamentally like doing anything. Like if you just made this a 2/3 or a 2/2, that generated a 3, it would be insane. Like utterly broken.
Just make Pixie a 1 cost, okay?
Agreed.
Seems unlikely. All right, I feel like we've talked enough about the Cuckoo. Also, she's seemingly a 3/4 because White Queen is a 3/4, and I think they wanted that synergy.
Also, just one quick thing to clarify before we go. So finish your thought now.
Yeah, that's fine. Go ahead.
Okay. The question is, when it says copy a card from your deck, does that card still stay in your deck? So you could theoretically draw it. Okay, right.
You reasonably often just immediately draw it, right? Like, there's only so many cards in your deck.
I have double Galactic People a lot today.
Yeah.
It was very satisfying.
Double Dark Hawk on Thanos and Irishim.
Yeah, like eat it. Yeah. Sometimes you get the triple Iron Man because you get the 3/4 Iron Man and Iron Man and Mystique, and you're just like, sorry.
What?
Sorry, I've got an Iron Man in every lane. I don't know. All my power is doubled. Go away. Yeah, she's got some fire. All right, time for me to be controversial. Surge is a 2/2. On reveal, give the top card of your deck -1 cost and +1 power. After you play it, repeat this ability. King.
So I genuinely like this card. Like I think it's a good card, but like I can totally understand too, like once you play this card, like Den was saying earlier, you're kind of forced to have to play the next card you play. And like it kind of gets you out of position sometimes, or like you have to play a card you don't want to play if you want to continue the surge, or you maybe not necessarily wasted your turn 2, but it feels bad sometimes. Like since I've been playing ongoing, like if I hit Mystique, it's like, okay, well, I literally can't do my surge interaction I wanted to do anymore. It just feels bad. So like you can kind of auto plug this into some decks, but at the same time, you got to be kind of, attentive to what you're actually playing. And like, if this does happen and this is my turn 3, am I going to play this card out on turn 3? Like, am I going to play a Sage out on turn 3 when I only have 1 card on the board and all this? Like, it's very, like, you have to think of it perspectively. Like, I think when this card pops off, it goes crazy. Like, you have the right curve and everything too, but it's definitely a curve dependent card, but I still think it's a good card.
Done.
I agree with Tucker said. Like, I don't have a lot to add, honestly. It's a card you have to commit to, and I think compared to Esme, it's much more of a put me in a good cards build where you don't have many situational cards. Like, this card almost makes me want to remove like the Shang-Chi the Enchantress and just be like Captain Marvel, Galacta, Gwenpool, Wiccan, and just be done with it. And it's actually annoying how effective it is in those builds, to be honest. But I mean, it pains me to say it, but I think we need cards like this because in the end, that's kind of what sells the best. And I've seen so many people say Surge is completely busted and nobody's talking about Esme. But yeah, I feel like Surge is starting hot, Esme is starting low, and maybe they're going to average out eventually. And also, I'm super mad that Sam Wilson exists, so you can't Red Guardian this card. This is the thing that pisses me off the most in the game at the moment.
Yeah.
So one of the things that I noticed today, and maybe I'm misinterpreting this, but I think this is how it worked, is you don't have to play that card next turn. You can play that card 2 turns from now, and after you play that card, then it repeats the ability. So I found...
It stays forever.
Yeah. So it can be the kind of thing to where you pull that card and you can play that card the turn after. Yes, obviously, if you pull her too late, then that does nothing for you. But I was surprised, and I think that is a power that maybe people don't necessarily will be paying attention to. I'm not sure. I think there is some power in that ability to hold on to that card for a turn, play it, and then use it when you're kind of wanting to. So I'm interested in seeing it. It feels powerful. The -1 cost and the +1 power, even if there's a Mobius on the board, at the very least, you're getting a +1 power for that card and the next card when you play that. So I'm sure there's some numbers that make her less powerful and just an easier card, I think, to slot in than someone like Esme.
I don't like her at all, and I think almost everyone does. Okay, that's not fair. I like her in certain builds.
Power-wise or design-wise?
Power-wise, I don't think she's that good.
Oh,
I don't. I
okay.
like. So I think she's a ramp card, and we're looking at her like chaining her is not what makes her good. If we look at her as a ramp card, I think she's a good card. But I think people that are like, oh my god, she's like a 2/6 that gives me negative. Like, nah, man. You want her to hit like the best deck I played with her was the actually Tucker's idea. It was the Ajax deck, right, with all the 4s in it. Where you're just like, if I have this on 2, I have this or Zabu, and then I can slam a 4 on 3. And then I feel like that deck is damn near unbeatable, right? I feel super OP when I do that. But, like, I'm not chaining it at that point, right? I'm playing whatever the best card is thereafter. And, like, in most other decks, because, like, all my mid-range stuff that I run it in, it's fine. But, like, I don't usually want to play it over Sam Wilson and good stuff.
You never want to play it over Sam Wilson.
Yeah, so like, and I don't want to play it on turn 3. I don't want to play a 2/2 on 3. Now I'm behind. I've given up all the tempo I've got from Sam, and then in those decks, I tend to want a tech card or two. And like, what am I doing with Surge or with my tech cards? Like, it's fine to hit it, right? Like, it's fine as ramp, but the chaining ability I think is ridiculously overrated. People are like, you can just build decks where you can play anything any turn. That's not how Marvel Snap works. That's not a real thing. Like, even the Havoc deck that everyone's like, you can play any card any turn. No, you fucking can't. You can't. I played so much of that deck. You cannot. You will die if you try and play cards random turns on that Havoc deck. Like, if you hit Kitty, you feel like a god, right? Like, you're like, free Kitty, I can do whatever I want, right? But, like, and then if you hit the wrong card, now you're just like, oh, my Athena is dead, right? Like, I can't work on my Athena, which is, like, one of the major power cards of the deck. It's not the card it seems to be. It's a really, really nice ramp card. It's very nice to have a two cost ramp card that can occasionally like hit the right thing and work really well. But like, if your deck wants ramp, if your deck wants to go really heavy 4s and it can run Zabu and Surge, you're in reasonably good shape. I would not be shocked if this is part of the reason that they kill Doom 2099, right? Because if you have this plus Psylocke plus Zabu, I could see Doom 2099 becoming like a real problem. But outside of that kind of shell, like it tends to work once a game, maybe twice. And at that point it's an 0-4 and I just played a Makari.
Yeah, but you get to pick where you play it.
Sure. Okay, I chose on turn 2 when I had no idea what was happening where I played my Makari. But its power is it lets me run heavy 4s. It lets me be like, I'm running 4 4s, and that's not going to bite me nearly as often.
Yeah. I agree. Like overall, I agree with what you're saying. And actually, my video about Surge was I have Surge on turn 2 and never play it because I tested her in a good cards move deck, and I was like, well, Batroc into Silk is better, and Sam Wilson is better, and Craven is sometimes better. Like, but I feel like Surge just adds to those cards. Like, I don't think you should build your deck for Surge. But there are enough decks in the game where you're like, oh, I didn't know what to play as turn 2. Let's just slot Surge and give myself another snap reason. Sometimes there are cards that you just don't have to work for. I don't think a Surge deck will exist. I just think a lot of decks can be like, oh, what'd I play? Oh, let me try Surge. It worked. I'm happy.
Yeah. But like, people are acting like it's like this busted nerf candidate card. And like, I'm just like, this card is kind of fine sometimes.
I mean, the stats based on Untapped, she is significantly like twice as popular as Esme Cuckoo compared to most other cards. And I mean, the win rate and cube rate are not significantly different between the two. And I know these numbers don't speak to everything, but I think it's just interesting that, you know, the non-season pass card has double the popularity. And I don't know if that's generally the case at the start of new seasons.
It's
actually,
almost never
Surge
the case.
Isn't even tier 1 on
Snapzone stats.
Untapped.
Oh,
yeah, she's B tier.
Yeah, it's a B tier. I mean, the thing is, the numbers are completely stupid with the bots.
Yeah.
But I mean, she's at like 57% win rate, which isn't so high for a card that's played in Thanos. I mean, if you're playing in Thanos, I wouldn't be surprised if you hit 60%.
It's just pre-infinite stats just mean so little, right? Like.
Yeah, but there's like 100 people in Infinite, so the stats.
I know, so we don't have good stats for a while.
Well, actually, I went to Infinite, and she goes to D tier, but she has the exact same stats.
That's fun. the first couple of days of Infinite on Untapped never work right. I actually had a long conversation with Cam about that, like, I don't know, last season actually, because my Doom 2099 deck was doing well, and he was like, "Why don't you check those on stats a little closer? They're bugged." And I was like, "Are you sure?" And he's like, "Yeah, they're bugged." And I checked, and I was like, "Holy shit!" Yeah, early season Untapped Infinite stats, because the samples are so small and weird, just don't work right. They don't come through right. Something is wrong with the way they're collated, and the stats end up being like almost useless. And plus, there's also like immediately a bunch of Agatha people that hit Infinite. I don't know why the Agatha people are like, "I'm gonna play so much Marvels, and I'm gonna hit Infinite on day 2," and then they're like, "But now Agatha for the rest of the season." Oh yeah, it's wild to me that that's a real thing, but it is a real thing. So like,
Farming resources.
I mean, I guess, but like
I
you
hope
can't
these
even do
people
that
are
properly
selling
anymore.
their account for good money. That's the only thing I can see. Like, I literally have no other reason to do that.
I think people just fall in love with min maxing. So yeah,
Look, I mean, I get it, but if you're doing it on Marvel Snap, like, is that really min-maxing?
yeah. Look, I don't get the point either. I obviously don't do it, dude. I don't know what to tell you, but like people are just obsessed with that idea, right? Like,
Sure.
So, what Surge does have going for her is her 700 gold variant is fucking gorgeous.
Mm-hmm. Emo Wednesday Surge.
Yeah, like I don't know how that's the same character, but it is.
Yeah.
What it made hard was like I couldn't pick a border or a background because the two different Surges clash so hard.
That's why you don't like the card.
No,
Okay.
look.
Okay.
You know where it's actually semi decent though, like not good because again, the problem is you want tech in these decks, but like where it's good, like who is it? Oh, Shurian Troyer has a Kitty Pride Angela deck that's running like Elsa and stuff with her that is pretty good. My son made me watch an episode of Phineas and Ferb, so I managed to play like 3 games with it because I didn't need to watch Phineas and Ferb. So
That's your loss, my friend. That show is phenomenal. Tucker, when your child gets old enough, definitely Phineas and Ferb. You won't hate it.
Okay.
yeah, it's fine. I'm not watching a random episode in like the middle of season 7. That's not how we're starting this new show. So
Yes, because with Phineas and Ferb, it is very important that you start right from the beginning and watch all the way through.
it is. That's how you watch things. Is that not how you watch things?
No.
Apparently
It's
not.
like it's Phineas and I watch TV like Surge plays cards. You play it on turn 2, you start at the beginning, and then the next turn you play the next one, and it just builds momentum. If it doesn't happen that way, I'm not in.
Man won't watch Last of Us, Chernobyl, or Phineas and Ferb. It's just a heartbreak.
All right, I can live with this. All right, are we done with Surge? Do we have any more Surge thoughts?
I feel like when we're getting to variants, we're pretty much done.
Yep.
Yep.
I really do like that variant though. All right, now it's on to speculative fiction. All right, Prodigy is a 3/4. On reveal, if this is in the back row, copy the text of the card in front of it. I don't know. I don't remember who goes first. Someone start talking. That's not Nick.
I'll go
Yay.
first. This is like, okay, I'll take the obvious. So I'll go first just so you guys have to think and I don't. In Surfer, there are a lot of cards that you like. I mean, take Sebastian Shaw, take Carter, take Galacta, take, like, how does it work? Like, do you copy on reveal? Like, if you play that behind a Gwenpool, for example, do you
Sure.
get the on reveal or do you just copy passive stuff?
You get
Or
the
like,
on
you
reveal
get
too.
everything.
Like
So
Mystique,
it's like-
think of in a
Mhm.
sense.
so it's like a double on reveal and another on reveal. It's like it on reveals and then kind of
Yeah.
absorbing man.
Yeah. Think of like old
Okay, yeah,
Mystique
then-
with like Blob
Then-
kind of would take the on reveal and then the ongoing.
Mhm.
Okay, then I'll probably test it in Surfer, and now you get to be smart and say the not obvious stuff.
Tucker.
So like Sam Wilson's a very playable card right now and is a really good enabler for this card too.
Mhm.
Like
No.
Like I know, and that's as soon as Den was talking about how he hates Sam Wilson, like Sam Wilson literally allows this card to do even more than what it probably could have, just because you can move this over to be the second card in that slot, and then you play Prodigy right behind the first card you wanted. Galacta is a perfect example in Surfer to have 2 Galactas going into the next turn. Like this fits way more in Surfer than Esme does. Because of the value you can get from it overall. And I think the Sam Wilson, like Surfer, is probably going to be what's played with this card. So Sam Wilson already has close to a 50% play rate. So it's going to be even more. I think next week with Prodigy as well. And I think your course kind of have to build around, like, if I do get a Prodigy, here's what happens. But it's a cheaper potential Absman in a sense. Granted, it has to be behind the card you want to copy opposed to the last on reveal. But you maybe even
Well,
could
it's not
Prodigy.
behind. It has to be. There have to be 2 cards before it.
Yeah, that's why I said, like, it has to be like the card it copies is right behind, like it's right in front of Prodigy. Is what I'm saying.
It's so
like,
easy to
not
do
like-
with Sam.
Yeah, that's what I'm
So
saying with
easy.
Sam. Sam, it just feeds his card to do kind of whatever it wants. But I think this card, people may not be as like crazy hyped about this card as they were for Surge, because they're like, like Surge energy stuff like we've been talking about. But I wouldn't be surprised if later on people are like, wait, why are we not talking about this card before the season started?
The Knicks won. Sorry. Holy shit.
Yep.
That's wild. The fucking Celtics are down 2-0 at home. All right, 0-2 at home. Okay, sorry. Nick.
Sports. I'm sorry.
It's not. I'm sorry.
yeah.
It's not hockey or
It's not hockey.
Greco-Roman
Curling.
wrestling.
Curling was the easy joke answer, but that's okay. I'll forgive you. You're in New York. I don't think you've ever seen a curling event take place. I would be surprised.
No, I have not. Why would I have seen it?
Well, you don't have just curling rinks
Den
just as
and
you walk
Tucker,
outside
have
the
you
door?
seen a curling event?
Like
I've
real
seen
life
maybe a
or
highlight.
TV?
Right. So that's
No,
just you.
does TV count? I've watched it once when someone told me, "Oh, there's curling on TV," and I didn't know what it was.
There you go.
All right. Nick, talk
Anyway.
about Prodigy. Are you a curling prodigy?
I'm not a curling prodigy in the slightest, but I think this does, like everyone else has been saying, this has a lot of potential to be a really interesting card. I think a lot of people are going to be bad at using it. I think a lot of people aren't going to be adding in stuff like Nightcrawler and things of that sort to move things around. I think it's going to take a very specific action in order to make him super powerful, considering he's a 3 cost. There's a turn in which he needs to be played, but I don't know. I think this is going to be a higher skill cap card, but I think it's going to be a very interesting card to play with. And the more I read about it, the more I read into it, I think it has a lot of unique potential, especially with it being an on-reveal card, because you can just move that stuff out of the way and boom, you're done.
Is it really that difficult to play? I mean, it's pretty easy to do like double turn 3, or now with Surge, with Zabu and all those cards, do 3+4 on turn 6.
Mhm.
And then you just have like an annoying card set. Like imagine, I don't know, there's a Red Guardian or some kind of thing like already on the board, just turn 6, play it behind it. Imagine against this card, like you go Red Guardian and your opponent's like, "You're dumb, I haven't played Dracula yet." Like, I know, don't worry, I know.
Well, they have to be dumb enough to play it in that lane. We like to think our
Some
discard
small
players
players
can
can read too. Some people aren't going to be able to understand maybe necessarily
Yeah,
the
like,
card
Oh
decks.
God.
Yeah.
Well, they need to be prodigies too.
That's the thing with Prodigy. I think a lot of it will come from being sneaky.
Mm-hmm.
Because like, when do you play, like, it's kind of the Arishem theorem. It's like, you're like, yeah, but they have so many cards in their deck. What if they don't have Shang-Chi and then you lost 8 cube because they had it? It's gonna be the same thing here. It's like, what if they have Prodigy and then you look at the board like, but they can play it here or there or there, or maybe they don't have it, or maybe they have it but they didn't draw it. And by the time you think about all those possibilities, you look at the timer and like, oh my god, you're gonna throw a card and get punished.
So,
I mean-
sorry, go ahead.
No. I was just going to agree with Dan. Please continue on.
Yeah.
So,
Freedom!
So like, ongoing decks are pretty happy, right? Like,
Yes.
just you
Yes.
want your last turn to be this in Mystique, and like you want to hit Iron Man, right? But like, are you super
Not
sad?
necessarily Iron Man on it. Play that behind Goliath.
Right,
gonna be a
exactly. Play
310.
it behind Goliath. Play it behind Captain
Carter.
America, Steve Rogers. Well, you don't want to copy Mystique with Carter, but yeah, you can play this behind Carter, and then like this is going to be giving 6 to the other card you play that turn. Like anything like that seems like absolutely completely crazy. Turn 6, this with like a Juggernaut, you play this to get one lane stupid big, and then you Juggernaut the other lane, and you can win that on the cheap. And Juggernaut's already like the most annoying card in the game. I'm starting to go real down on Juggernaut as far as like, okay, enough with that card right now. You know what I mean? Like it's in every fucking. It feels like it's in like 60% of games. I know it's not, but holy shit.
It's just that whenever you face it, you're like, oh my god, again.
You face a lot of
It's just-
surfer, I bet.
yeah, well, even just like not surfer, just like your mid-range bullshit. You're like, all right, they don't
Mhm.
have Juggernaut, I win. Oh wait, they can Juggernaut in any of the 3 lanes. Fucking guess.
Okay, Glazer, keep that feeling and just apply it to Prodigy. That's exactly what Tucker and I
Oh,
were saying.
I'm aware.
You're gonna be like,
No, I'm saying
but-
play them together. You play
if-
Juggernaut in one lane and Prodigy in another lane, and then you fucking win, right? Like
that's what we do. Fucking win.
this seems yeah.
Literally.
Fair enough. Not me. I lose to bots. 24 cubes in 3 games.
Me
baby.
too. I
Let's
just
fucking
won't say it.
Just yeah. I don't know. This card is I don't know how to like.
I like
Everyone,
puzzles.
I think this might end up being the best card of the month, and everyone's just sleeping on it. Like, I don't think the next 2 cards we're going to talk about have any chance of being the best of the month. I think it's between the first 3, and I wouldn't be remotely surprised if this ends up it. And it's so much easier to use than we think. Like, it's easier to get a card, I think, in the back row than it is to get a card in the front row. So you can just fucking
Yes,
play
of
it later.
course. It's much easier. Yeah.
We didn't have Dum Dum to test that, so I mean,
Yeah.
we can't
But,
verify.
I mean-
but this is because he was a
Dum
back
Dum
row
and Prodigy
card.
being the back row cards is amazing.
I mean, the thing is, we were excited about Dum Dum because he was a back row card. So
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, I mean, even if you're getting, like, let's say you, like, miss and you get a Forge, right? Like, you didn't draw a Surfer, and you copy a Forge, and now you can play your Brood at +2 as a surprise. Like,
About Fire Hair.
yeah, I mean, that would
I
probably
have-
not do anything.
I
Just
have
gonna
a
suggest.
question. Why did you copy Forge and not Galacta?
Because you didn't see Galactic. You got Forge. You got Forge and you got Forge and you got Forge and Carter, right? And so you can play this, hit
And
the Forge, and then play Brood.
What is this game where I drew only 4 cards?
Look, it happens. Sometimes you get like
No, it
every
doesn't.
discard location. That hasn't happened to you. We're like, what the fuck is happening?
I
Like
mean,
3 discard locations in a row happen. You're like,
Esme Cuckoo solved that. We just talked about it.
that's true. But we cut her from our server for Prodigy. That's the problem.
No.
Ooh, I bet you I can get her behind Sarah. I can get Prodigy behind a Sarah if I play Luna.
Prodigy behind the Sarah.
No, that's
Then
harder
you need.
to do. I'd need
You
Sam.
need what magic? Oh no, you Esme, and then you Sarah, and then you Prodigy.
No, you just play Luna. You play Sam, Luna, Sarah, and then you're there. Prodigy.
Okay.
Yeah, if you
Can't
make
we
the
do
fourth
like
card in that
Surge?
row.
Yeah.
Surge hits Esme. You play Esme, which hits Sarah, and then you draw the Sarah that was hit by Surge.
There we
That
go.
sounds
Let's
much
fucking
funnier.
go.
That
let's
sounds
go.
much
The most
funnier.
consistent combo right there, 100%
So wait,
every time.
Has the Snap Judgments podcast decided that Prodigy is our official card of the month, and we think it's going to be the best? Let's go. Take a stand.
Ooh.
Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, it's gonna be the best until they buff Esme.
Yes. Okay. Fine.
Mhm. Yeah.
Super stance. Like,
Eventually, buff Esme. Dick.
My thing is, how do you define best card? Best card that anybody can play, or best card that only people that know how to plan? Because there's a lot of people in Snap, myself included, that don't know how to plan.
There's no
Like,
best
by
card
hours.
if you don't know what you're doing. If you don't know what
By
you're doing,
hours
the
then.
best card is like fucking get lucky. Hope it's a bot that doesn't want to win.
Yep.
I'm gonna go with this is the best card of the month. I didn't.
Yeah.
We talked ourselves into it.
You
It's
kind of
also
talked
a
yourself into it.
really
With the
good sign.
I think the Juggernaut argument really nailed it.
It's also a really good sign that Heart of the Card Snap thinks that this is going to be busted, because like he's really good at Surfer. I don't know if he can play anything else, but he's really good at Surfer. All right, we done?
Mhm.
Yep.
All right, that was fun. Let's talk about some shit. Elixir is a
Oh.
2/3 unreveal. One of your cards destroyed last turn gets revived here.
It's,
Go ahead, Dan.
eh.
Great take. Love it.
No, I was like, I see it, and then I'm like, the thing is with this card is like I see potential, and then the counter argument comes just as fast. I'm like, all right, so I want to play it with the destroy thing, but when do I have time to fit it in the curve if I'm busy destroying? And then I'm like, okay, maybe I can get certain cards doubled, and then I unlock specific combos. But then I'm like, okay, but it becomes like really, really specific in the draw, and my deck isn't super like stable and then I start figuring Cosmo, I start figuring all those things, and I'm just like, I see all the times it's not gonna work and very few times where it's gonna work.
Tucker.
So I think this card at its current state isn't the best, and I think
it is the best. Is as
isn't the
negative
best.
Tucker
I
as
think
Tucker
this.
gets.
I think this is one card away from actually being a legit card. Like I think whenever freaking Kid Omega comes out, like then this card can be a legit card. But until then, like in order to get value from this, you're playing the Shuri Nimrod stuff with magic. Like that's the main home I'm seeing is you have Shuri Nimrod and you have magic. So you have an extra turn to get value from this. Because that's like the only way I see this card really being as good as it can be is having an extra turn in the game just to set up your combos. Like even in like a style of revived cards like a Phoenix Force kind of thing, like you're not really using this unless you just have a horrible, like the worst curve ever, and you got this from like just a random location. Like I feel like this is just a really tough card at the current state when you're looking at the other cards this season to get like optimized value from, unless you're playing an extremely combo heavy deck. And I think Den brought up a great point too. Cosmo is going to just continue to be popular, I think, this season as the way it continues to progress.
I mean, literally
especially
every card.
Yeah, literally every single card. And especially when Prodigy is going to be coming out next week too, you need Cosmo on lanes where they have their really good cards they can Prodigy. And I think because of that, that really affects this because it's an on reveal, of course. And of course, you have to have destroy cards that are also on reveals in order to get that to happen. Whereas what I'm saying when Kid Omega, whenever he comes out in the future, is activate, destroy, and then you can do elixir things. But like, we don't know when that's going to happen. So I think this card's going to be just kind of rusting on the shelf a little bit, maybe like Toxie, and then you'll just kind of see what happens.
Also, question, I'm pretty sure I know the answer, but just to make sure, this doesn't work with cards that actually don't count as destroyed. Like it's never gonna revive. Like I can't get 2x23 as I can get two Wolverines. Correct. Because they're not. And I feel like this is such a huge limitation because if actually I could get those cards on the board and just be like, all right, I have a billion energies, or I just have a billion. Like building my null is so easy. Like that limitation hurts Elixir so much.
Unless it's a Dormammu card. Maybe that's what it is. Like I said, months away. Like it's just...
I mean, that's the thing is if they're putting out cards that are going to be good later, it creates a... See, it's different with snap packs now because you don't have to go, oh crap, when is this card going to come back into the rotation? If you want that card, if you've gotten other cards around it, you've got a decent chance of being able to get that card. And at least that pool is there rather than waiting for it to just show up in your shop to buy with tokens. But yeah, I know this one got changed from Activate. That was the previous one is Activate.
Sick as an Activate.
Yeah. But I'm assuming the fact that they changed it means that it was a little too sick as an Activate and they didn't want it to absolutely explode. I mean, it's a good card if there is a location where like Luke's Bar. But the build up for a lot of this stuff, it is just, I don't know. I don't see it. I'm looking forward to when it releases to see what happens.
I've seen someone, I don't know if it was in the comments on Marvel Snap Zone or somewhere else, but I think I've seen someone say, but this is a counter to Shang-Chi. And really, I think people are seeing like they're 25 levels ahead of me on this one. Like, you need to lose priority. They need to play Shang-Chi. You need to anticipate the fact that you have... No, on 6.
They play Shang-Chi on 6. This is the last turn. Destroyed last turn, not this turn.
Oh, oh my god, so many limitations.
Yeah, the Activate was better because it was the last card you destroyed was the Activate text. And I think that was too much for...
Yeah.
It's utter trash. It could be Dormammu. It could be what's the other name? Kid Omega. But even then, no, I'm probably good. Thanks though.
Like, you're going to think of this over any of those other cards, right? Like any of the.
Well, so what its use for Dormammu might actually be is that Dormammu is going to be just chilling on the board on turn 5 a lot, because that's when you're going to finish your rituals, right? Which means that they might shang it like fairly right away.
Mm-hmm.
And if they do that, then all of a sudden getting that back. But like you destroyed 3 other cards with Dormammu to get Dormammu to happen. So you see how that doesn't help, because now Elixir might get one of those if you destroy those at the same turn.
Yeah. That's I think it's like a Magic kind of style. Like you have to have an extra turn to get some sort of value from this card.
It's shit. And I expect it to continue to like. I expect it. I think they're building for things that are going to come later, but I still think I don't want to do it. Like that, I can't play like. All right, let's pretend I want to play Sabretooth. I can't go like, Sabretooth on Kid Omega into this, right? Like, this isn't going to revive Sabretooth, and I couldn't do that all in one turn. Like, what do I want to do with this?
Zola Venom.
Yeah.
Yeah, Zola Venom. I mean, you can Zola early.
I mean, if you have Magic, you have an extra turn, so you Zola on 6, and then you revive your Venom on turn 7.
I mean,
potentially. Of course, you have all the other 5 to 10 cards you destroyed. But
I got nothing.
I mean, extra Nimrod's cool. You get an extra
It's
Nimrod
not extra
to destroy,
Nimrod,
but
no, you don't. Oh, if you Zola Nimrod, sure, but if you Venom or Carnage it, do you?
Yeah, because the Nimrod's in the
one
destroy
Nimrod.
pile.
Okay, so an extra Nimrod is actually reasonably cool, but now you definitely need Magic.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying. It's a Magic card.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe we're finally hitting the Nimrod meta and we just don't know it. Oh wait, Cosmo's everywhere. Never mind.
For now, Cosmo doesn't. You have to remember with cards like Cosmo. Cosmo comes around and then he disappears for a while, except for those few
the
seasons.
second Nimrod is good. The second Nimrod is good. Cosmo, guess what's back?
Armor Cosmo and even more Shadow King.
Yep.
Oh God.
But Shadow King should be back right now, anyways. Which he's starting to come back more, but
the problem is every deck wants to buff itself, so it's really rough.
Yes.
Yep.
We need to review the Shadow King change at some point and kind of reflect back on, was that the right move to make to where it wasn't countered by someone like Luke Cage? Probably, but I still wonder. Like I'm like, oh.
Yeah, because the game would break if Luke still protected things from Shadow King. So yes, it was the right move. They started releasing things that scaled fucking stupid high.
Yeah, Batroc is high.
Yeah, right. Like, well, my friend Killmonger loves Batroc. Best friends.
I know.
Turned my Killmonger into a fucking 311 immediately.
Well, Strange Supreme right now is okay.
Cosmo. Yeah. All right. What the fuck? We're not even talking about Elixir. Next.
No.
Hey, this is going to be a much more positive conversation. It's Zorn. Zorn is a 2/3. It's not non-reveal. We have a card that is not countered by Cosmo. It, in fact, counters Cosmo.
It's but counters Cosmo. No, it
counters
just says
Juggernaut
Cosmo
too.
Does. They can't play it in that lane. If they have priority, they can still Juggernaut you, just for the record.
But then the Juggernaut moves?
Sure. All right. Zorn is a 2/3. After any 3 or 4 card is play here, move it to another location. Let's just keep going then, because Tucker's drinking water.
Honestly, I'm like so neutral toward that card. I'm like, I have better things to do in the move deck, so this has to bring some sort of disruption to the table for me to like it. And I don't see it. Like I just don't see how this makes the cut in 12 cards. Like, I understand what it does. I'm just like, where do I fit that when I'm only allowed 12 cards?
Tucker, where do you fit that if you're only allowed 12 cards?
So, like, the hefty amount of copium I have right now for like for a Red Wing to actually have a card that kind of can just allow it to do its thing.
But
Topaz.
Topaz, Topaz, yes, it does, but like it has to go to the middle kind of thing, and, like, or you can do some techie stuff around it, whatever.
And this
but,
can
like,
go anywhere.
This can go anywhere. But like, what I like is the interactivity.
Even the middle.
So what you don't want an eagle, you want a surprise eagle? That's what you're saying?
Yeah, you want a surprise eagle, yes. It's a 50-50. It'll either go to the leftmost or the rightmost location, you know? It'll be...
Okay. All right.
But I
Did
think
you
this
know
is,
that
like,
if they
interesting.
Juggernaut Red Wing, it works?
It's true. Juggernaut Red Wing works, but maybe like I don't know. I think I like that this is interactive for both sides of the board. I think that's what I like about the card, that it's not just necessarily for you, but like at the same
If
time,
it was
like,
just for us, it would just be a worse topaz.
yeah, that's like it'd be bad. Like, of course, it's better than
It
Hercules, right?
would be bad.
You know, like I don't know. I don't have like a definitive like. I think Vulture likes this card. Woohoo! Like I feel like it's interesting, but like I don't necessarily like Den said. Like I don't hate this card. I don't love this card. But it's a new kind of just like tech option potentially against like maybe they're trying to do Madam Web things, and you know they're gonna play Vulture, but like at the same time you're getting Vulture buffed for your opponent. Like I don't necessarily know what I want to do with this card. I think that's where I stand. I don't know what I want to do with this card. It's cool that it's a different kind of like ability in a sense, but
Nick, what do you want to do with this card?
I want to just make shit bounce around the board. Honestly, that's what this comes down to. You imagine having this in one lane, Hercules in another lane. What if you play this in the same lane with Topaz? You play this and then Topaz afterwards? Like what? Wait, oh no, it would bounce Topaz. Never mind. I realized there's no way to actually put these two in the same lane. You can always clone.
Professional ping
Sure,
pong.
there is. You play them both on turn 5. Oh no, that won't work because the one has to reveal first.
Exactly.
You play them both in deep space.
Perfect idea. There you go.
Got him.
Both in deep space. You can play them both. I think this is going to be a card that's going to be hard to predict what the hell's going on, because I don't think anyone is going to have any idea to what the hell is going on. I think you combine this with Hercules, you combine this with Topaz, and it is just chaos everywhere. The fact that it's any 3 or 4 cost card is wild. You secure another lane, you lock down another lane with something, and you toss in a Craven, and this gets huge. Maybe. I don't know. This one is really hard to tell because it is any cost card. And I've seen a lot more decks these days that are filling a lot more of the location. So there's a lot less places, I think, because of stuff like Juggernaut. There are a lot fewer places for things to go flying to near the end of the game. So I don't know. I think it's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to it. I don't think it's going to be a great card by any mean, but I think it's going to be fun.
Hydra Stomper was data mined as working when your opponents moved cards or when you moved your opponent's cards, at which point this would have been completely insane.
mm-hmm.
That said, that card doesn't exist, right? Scream doesn't need this, like, in any way, shape, or form. And, like, I don't get any payoff from moving opponents' cards except the joy of messing up their plans. But, like, this is sitting on the board face up. It's not like I've, like, got them. I don't know. Like, I would not be shocked if this was worse than Elixir. Like, I don't know when and how I want to play this. There are 2 cards that there's no 4s that I want to move, right? I'm not missing anything. Like, if they can make 2099 a 4 again, we can talk.
Yeah. Unless you like want to set up Fanfei in like another lane or something,
but then I can just play Fanfei in that lane usually, right? Like, I don't know. I can't think of any. There's 2 cards that work well with this in the whole of Marvel Snap, and I've got enough ways to use them that aren't stupid. Like, if there were another 3 move payoff, if there were 3, we could start to talk. I disrupt the opponent, and I have 3 things I want to do. We're, like, on the right track. But with 2, like, this is just worse than everything. This is probably the worst card of the month, which is a shame because he's dead sexy. But, you know.
He's got a really cool variant, too. Like, his Spotlight, or the Creative House Pocket, and then his also, like, his, I think it's a super rare, are really cool.
Yeah, look, he's a really, really cool character, and he's a really, really cool character. It's really, really cool that they themed him after Magneto, given everything about the character in that one specific run.
I completely didn't even think about that. That's genius.
Yeah. So, like, all of that is really, really good, except that you have to play the card sometimes. And, like, weekend missions might just be an Arishem weekend.
Ugh.
What, you guys don't like Arishem? It's favorite deck in the game. Come on.
I mean, it could also just stick it in, like, a general deck, right? And be like, all right, I've got one card that's kind of shit. It's not like I've never done that before.
It'll be great for clearing out your move X number of cards per game mission. Like, hey.
Sure.
It's a hot location card.
I keep trying to think of, like, is there anything I want to do that's not just Red Wing and Vulture?
Mm-hmm. I mean, moving Hydra Stomper gives you an extra 1 on your Hydra Stomper.
Well, yeah, everything you move that you can play on him is going to give you an extra 1, which is decent. Which makes him like worse Silk in that deck, right?
Yeah. But at least he's stationary. Like, he can't just, he can lose you the game other ways, putting your cards in the wrong spot. Opposed to just himself.
Yeah, I get it. I don't know. I keep being like, there's got to be another card that works with him that I'm not thinking of, and I just don't think it exists.
Oh no, Symbiote Spider-Man is a good show, right? You targeted.
You drop Brood in there, and then like it flies into Symbiote Spider-Man. I guess I don't know, but then now you have that Brood alone for Symbiote Spider-Man. That's doable.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's still super counterable, right? Like you're just begging for a fucking Red Guardian. Like, it's just like, oh, I wonder if that Brood alone is going to be a thing. Let's Red Guardian that.
They would never.
So that's why I had to stop playing that deck. Who was it? Cougar, I think, had a version of that deck. And, like, my Brood alone just was getting Red Guardian every fucking game. I was like, oh, there it goes. Or, like, I'd play, what's her name? In the left lane. What is her stupid name? Now you can do it on curve, though, so that is better. Because you can play this on 2, into Brood on 3, into like the symbiote on 4. But it's still got to sit there for a turn like an asshole. I hope it doesn't get Red Guardian, right? I don't know, I guess that's fine.
And assuming you don't have stuff in other lanes and it actually lands in the lane that you need it to, and
you're assuming they don't Red Guardian Zorn instead.
They can't. There's Sam Wilson.
They can Red Guardian Zorn. But
No,
I
they
feel
can't.
like once they do, I snap because I don't think they're very good. It's like Red Guardianing Elixir. If you Red Guardian my Elixir, right? Like, I don't know.
Glazer, you've lost enough 8 cubes to bots today. Just chill.
That was yesterday. I only lost 8 cubes to bots once today. Because I was like, there's no way this can happen again. There's no way the first bot I saw all day could be a cheating bot. It was a cheating bot. Everyone's like, why did you play it? I was like, I thought the bot was going to let me win. I don't know. It did it, so I lost.
How they've gone through all the trouble of putting bots with different cards, different avatars, different everything, but they are so much easier now because you just take a look at that name and, oh, they match my CL and they're not infinite. I wonder if that's a bot. Like, they've made it so much easier to discern.
I'm telling you, my favorite thing earlier was like, my stream was like, but you can't be sure it was a bot. And I'm like, like, I don't know even how to argue with you at this point. Yes, Steve, who has my CL down to the exact digit and finished at rank 94 and 98, is definitely a real person. Like, my CL's like 50, like 30, I don't know what my CL is. It's high. So, like, it's absurd. Yeah, all right, whatever, fuck it. Once we're onto this, Zorn's time to go. Let's rank them. We all agreed Prodigy is the best card, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so Prodigy is number 1. Everyone but Nick agrees Prodigy is number 1, but he's outvoted 3-1. What's the worst card? Zorn or Elixir? Yeah. Zorn?
I'm going to say Elixir just because Elixir is going to be a lot less fun. Zorn at least is going to be crazy. At least there's something there. At least when you're playing Zorn and messing around with Zorn, stuff happens. With Elixir, you're like, oh, I destroyed this card. I can bring it back here. Like, I don't know.
Yeah? Then Elixir or Zorn? Which is worse?
I have no idea. To be honest, I'm gonna say Elixir because I really have zero idea what to do with it, while Zorn might annoy someone someday.
Glazer, we can't hear you.
Oh, yeah, okay. I thought it was just me. I was like, oh,
right, because, yeah.
We can't hear anything you said, like, since you took over.
I can guess you were talking about Juggernaut, but that's about it.
Can we just pretend like
Yeah.
who can do the best impression of Glazer? We'll just pretend.
So my
Oh,
mic
dang
just
it.
randomly sometimes eat it. My mic just randomly sometimes decides to mute itself. Nothing happened. I hadn't moved. My mic was just like, I'm muted now. Why?
I don't
Like-
think you were allowed to participate in the Glazer
Yep.
impression, Glazer.
Oh,
It's like,
fuck.
it's
Well,
a
I
little
won.
too easy. It's too simple.
Ugh. All right, fine. All right, so let's keep Elixir in the bottom for now, but I think it'll be Zorn worse eventually. Is that fair?
Sure.
Yeah, sure.
That is what I was gonna. All right, so now we have to decide what's better long term, Esme or Prodigy.
Do we consider potential buffs?
We shouldn't.
Okay, then if we shouldn't, I'm gonna say on a large scale Surge, on a small, very high scale Esme.
Surge or Prodigy?
Prodigy's one.
Nah, Prodigy
Oh,
is
okay.
like.
So Prodigy's one with a bullet. Like there's a huge gap
Yeah.
between them. Cool. Okay.
I mean, Prodigy allows you to snap, and your opponent has no reason why. Surge allows you to snap, and your opponent probably leaves and gives you a cube. I'll take the card that wins me 4 over the card that wins me 1.
Esme is another one of those cards. Like you were talking earlier too, Den. Like I got a really good Esme pull,
Yeah.
or like you said, just
Which
bluff
is-
snap. But
Which is why I'm saying I think on a small scale, like high scale players, they're probably going to get more out of Esme. But
Yeah.
if we're talking the average mobile snap player, they're probably going to get more out of Surge.
and I think that's fair. I think with that reasoning, I'm cool with it. Prodigy,
Yeah.
Surge, Esme.
All right, we got to
Mhm.
make 2 lists now.
I mean, so Prodigy, Surge, Esme, Prodigy, Surge, Esme, Elixir, Zorn is our order.
I'm
I do
Zorn
think-
Elixir. I really put Elixir last, but I don't know what everyone
Oh
else
yeah, I don't
voted
really
for
care
these
about
2.
those two.
Oh yeah, okay, that's the
Like, those
trash.
were-
Trash
all
A,
right,
Trash B.
So those are Banner Kang tier, right?
Mm,
What?
I don't know if they're to that level. I think,
I think they're that level.
maybe Elixir is, but at least again with Zorn, unlike Kang, he at least does something. He
Kang does something.
forces. Yeah, he does, but what Kang does is allows your opponent to go, oh shit, I'm glad I didn't do that. Let me do this instead.
It makes a lot of views. Like you just make a video, are they gonna reward Kang? And you're like, YouTube.
I've never made that video. Because like people are always
I'm
like, I get that question all the time from person. How would you reward Kang? It's like, who fucking knows? Who cares? You just redesigned the card. You could literally stick fucking Zorn's text on it. There's no rhyme or reason. It's a rework. It could be anything. Like that's what a redesign is.
I
But
don't know how many
I
podcasts
still think-
have been, but I'm pretty sure that's how many times we talked about Kang, and they should rework it.
All right, so I think Elixir and Zorn are Kang tier though, for real. Like without any joke, I think they're that bad. I hope I'm
What's
wrong.
I don't know.
what's Kang tier? Like, do you consider Kang tier to be on his own, or
No.
are we putting all the bad cards in there?
All the Kang, Bruce Banner, want to get mad at me, Kyera. Like those are all complete like Garbo tier.
I mean, Kyera has not had relevance since Blob first came out, and she protected Blob. Outside of that,
So-
she is just.
People are always like, but I can play Zoo in a Killmonger meta, and I'm like, you know what else you can do in a Killmonger meta? Play a different fucking deck that's not Zoo. Like,
I
why
can't.
would
I'm
that, like,
collection level 500, and I paid for Kyra.
well, you made a mistake, friend.
But it's all I could get for my snap pack.
Ugh, well then,
I
then
saved 3
you said-
months for a snapback
Like, you-
and I
you
got
know-
Kyra. I
well-
will play the card.
you know how you know that Kyra's bad? Thanos exists in a Killmonger meta right now. How many Kyras you seen?
Why would I
0.
play Kyra when Doctor Strange already eats the card?
There's still the ongoing version. Does the ongoing version, and Kyra is an ongoing card.
They
Does
have
that
Cosmo to
version
protect their cards, okay?
right?
What are you
Kyra
saying?
is so trash tier, right? So okay, but
Well,
yeah, I think that's
Surfer's not
those
running
guys are-
Killmonger right now at the moment.
I'm running it.
Some versions
I
are.
run-
Yeah, me
I
too.
run
Some,
it
but
today.
like not the main ones I've seen.
We're seeing enough Killmonger.
Wait, let me
Where's
check my
Destroy
list.
though? I have not seen Destroy.
Well, because
In
you can't play
ages.
Destroy in a Cosmo meta.
No.
No.
I had Killmonger. in my Surfer list I tried today.
Me too.
He won me a
I
game on
almost subscribed.
Mojo World. Really good card.
I mean, Killmonger was amazing like 4 days ago, and now it's just very good because Surge and Esme decks don't really care about Killmonger. But like a week ago, when everything was Batrock or Thanos, I had Killmonger on like anything.
Yeah.
I was like, I just gotta throw Killmonger in. It's like a 3/15. Like, yeah, I should probably play that card. Again, we overthink the shit out of so much Marvel Snap stuff.
Yeah.
Is Esme good? Does the card she gives you give you a lot of points? Yes. Does the card she gives you give you very few points? No. Is Surge very good? I don't think Surge is very good. I think she's likely a 0-4 to 0-5. She's okay. She's good. Not incredibly broken. Is Prodigy very good? Well, Prodigy is very likely to copy something that can be game winning if you're any good. And you can choose that. It's not random like it is for Esme. Gonna be very good.
Or Surge.
Elixir and Zorn. Elixir represents getting points back, but you can't really control what. No. Zorn represents potential points for one specific card. No. Alexa just started talking to me. Is there a name? Elixir. I said Elixir.
There you go.
And I was like, why is this stupid? All right, there we go. But yeah, like so much of our card like analysis is just like, how many points does this represent? I need points to win in a game of Marvel Snap. And like part of what makes cards that are like 2/1s, like right, like Madame Web's so good, is that Madame Web represents like 40 points.
Yeah.
And like Prodigy represents potentially a ton of points, assuming you build a good deck with Prodigy. How many points do Elixir and Zorn represent on the board? Negligible?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh.
At least with Elixir, like it's last turn, so you can kind of
Mhm.
figure out what was destroyed last turn. But still, like you said, if you destroyed a bunch of cards, you still have to toss in the air which one of these is going to be.
So I Venom off of lane, right? And I get my Demon and like 2 other cards. If I get that Demon back, then I played a 2/9 and all of a sudden we have enough value. But if I get back that Hood that I had to get rid of, I just played a 2/0.
Well, I think you're destroying the Hood earlier than that. And I think like
I mean,
with the
hopefully.
Elixir, you're doing more like Nimrod type of stuff, or you're playing him a little bit later and like you're set up your Venom to destroy your bigger cards later in the game for Elixir value, opposed to like, okay, like you said, like I just destroyed the Hood, now I play Elixir, so I get the Hood back. I think you set it up a bit better, but you have to combo more with Elixir than you do with Zorn, and I think that's what kind of might have the argument to have Zorn higher than Elixir, because like you have to set up a lot more and Cosmo meta. Like I think that just really sets precedent.
So look,
Agreed.
we can make Elixir good. And ready? Elixir is the last card you destroyed instead of the last thing. And then instead of like last turn, I'll random card from last turn, and then you run it with Quinton Quire, and you Venom something huge. You make it the biggest lane you can. You Venom it. You trigger Quinton Quire, and now Venom is the last card destroyed. You've got this like 40 power Venom. Next turn you play Elixir, you win.
Yeah.
You now have like these 2 giant things. But like because that Venom had to eat those other things last turn, that no longer works.
Mhm.
That's why I think Nimrod is like the better like argument in a sense, but at the same time, to go through your point, if you do Venom on the Nimrod lane, more often than not, you're destroying like a Shuri or something prior to that. So then it's like a 1 out of 3 if you don't destroy the Nimrod again with Carnage, because then at that point it's like a 2 out of 4 potentially because you destroyed Nimrod twice, and then you have to play the Elixir the next turn and toss up the 50-50. There's just so much more you have to do to be able to get that maximum power value that you're talking about. Like, so like I'm agreeing with you here.
Yeah.
It's just going to be interesting to see. He's not good this season. Like just point blank, not good this season. We'll see how he is later on, if he even stays as is, but it's just a major feels bad for him. Just
no. I see potential with the mill style decks with Misery and stuff like that. Not that it would be good by any means, but I think it's at least a fit for Elixir. At least there is a logic to playing him there, toss in a Grandmaster. But again, then you're replacing all the cards that give you points with cards that just make the other player really angry. Like
it'll go in the Jet Phoenix Force list. Right? Like where you just like Misery a pile of shit and you're happy to get whatever back with Phoenix Force. At that point, Elixir's doing the same thing.
like Vampire Slayer.
Sure.
But again, in this meta, Vampire Slayer is a much harder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We keep just talking in
Bullseye
circles around the
Vampire
shitty
Slayer.
cards.
Well, I think
All
because
right.
it's so bad, it's just like, how can we take this card and actually make it something that people are going to want to invest in or have some benefit to playing? And I think that's hard.
I think the better question, and we can't answer this, is why the fuck these two cards are Series 5?
Because everything's
Because-
Series 5.
Everything
No,
is
it's not.
Series 5.
It's not true.
Well, okay, sorry. Everything really good supposedly is Series 5.
Yeah.
Also
because-
not true, right? Like my new
Because
favorite
they
French
need-
person is Series 4.
Mm.
Because they need to make snap packs a little random.
Mm.
If only the best cards go into the snap pack, like
Yeah.
Series 5, we just have to save for that one. They need to mess up the odds at some point. Like, because otherwise, nobody's never going to play Lexer and Zorn. While now, we're going to open them because we want the other cards in the snap pack, and we're going to be like, let me try it. Oh my god, it's shit. I got to go on Glazer's podcast and tell him.
It's how that works, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm pretty
Hey,
sure
it's
that's
content.
how. Yeah, that's literally why content creators exist. Because, I mean, you don't need a lot of people to tell stuff it's good. But how many views do you make when you're like, that's shit?
None. No
Or
one
if it
watches
makes
the shit
memes.
cards.
Yep.
That's not look, I don't know, I can't speak for every content creator. But like if the card is bad that week, my views plummet.
Yeah.
Bruce Banner week, no one's fucking interested. I'm not doing any views. Like everyone just checks out of Snap for the week. Like but like and Bruce is just an obvious example, but when the card is bad, my views tank. When they release really cool, exciting cards, like Agamotto isn't great, but he's good enough and he's exciting. And so, like, I got a bajillion views. The more exciting the card is, the more views I get.
I don't know. I never get views.
Fair?
Who needs views? It's the quantity, the quality is what's important, Dan. Even if there's 3, it's more important to have what? 2 friends anyway.
Yeah, that.
I think
I only have one mom, or I'd be super famous.
Hey,
Yes, 2 moms,
that's
that would do it.
I think one of the interesting things about this, I remember when TLSG was making videos and I was watching his videos more regularly back in the first year or so of Snap. When he would put out a video with a new card, that wouldn't necessarily do as well as his existing cards out there because people would maybe not get that new card or whatever. And it seems like that has very much shifted to where people are really guiding themselves towards getting that new card of the week and trying to do something unique and interesting with it. And they're out looking for, okay, this is a new cool card. I want to get it. What's what behind it? And I think they're making it so that it's a little bit easier for that to happen with Spotlight Keys. You're not having to immediately invest in tokens. So I'm interested in knowing now that you have to be more intentional on buying that new card. You're not just gambling to see if you get it in 1 or 2 keys. Oh, shoot, I only had 2 keys. I didn't get it. I don't care about this card. Are more people
So-
getting it now?
I can answer this relatively quickly. What people care about are cool decks.
Mm.
Like, not even, like, good decks. They care about cool decks, right? Like, look at Regis or Cozy, who, like, no offense to Cozy, but, like, clearly didn't have the best decks, right? People care about getting cool decks. Like, more than anything.
Or at
And-
least looking at cool deck.
Right, or at least looking at cool decks, right? But, like, there's no... Like, the card that came out 6 months ago, unless something really strange happens, we probably figured out the cool deck for it. When TLSG was hitting a lot with that early stuff, that was when people were still in Series 3.
Mhm.
Or, like, a lot of the Viewing Guardians was still in Series 3, or, like, those videos are made now. Like, unless they release a new card that goes with Ghost Rider. And they do sometimes, right? Like, Khonshu happens. But, like, unless they release a new card that comes with Ghost Rider, if I put Ghost Rider in my thumbnail tomorrow without the new card, people are like, oh, cool, a Ghost Rider deck. But if you don't randomly love Ghost Rider, you're like, yeah, I've seen Ghost Rider decks, thanks. 'Cause you've had that thought, right? Where you look at a thumbnail and you're like, I've probably seen that deck. And you just kind of
Unless
shrug
it's
and
Black
move
Knight.
on.
Then it's like,
Yeah.
oh, Black Knight's actually somewhat decent. Yeah.
Right. Well, yeah. Everyone has their pet cards, right? Like, if you
Mhm.
throw a Beast on that fucking thumbnail, I'm like, what?
Mhm.
Right? Like,
Yep.
friends, let us talk. What Beast deck do you have? But,
Mhm.
but that's how it works. But new cards, there's always new things. And that novelty is what pulls people in. Marvel Snap is a game that has trained people, especially because of its card release system, to always value novelty. And when the new
How's
thing
that going to
sucks,
work when they're dumping shit tons of cards out there?
great, because that's novelty. That's totally fine. Then the problem is when they release shit cards, people aren't interested. And I think they know that, but the only solution is to power creep the shit out of the game, right? So like they're just like, all right, we're just gonna have to take our medicine and release some like elixirs and Zorns. And
Speaking
hopefully
of, did
Zorn gets a memeific enough that people like it.
have they said when they're, or has there been any notification about when they're going to be doing that big Series 4 drop like they did at the end of last month? Is that now like an end of the month thing? Has second dinner
No,
specifically come out?
It'll be the first week of seasons, which I wish it wasn't, but it'll be the first week of seasons. That one that they did, they said was supposed to happen, like last week's was supposed to happen this week, but they released it early for snap packs. They wanted to release something with snap packs. So like there's no Series 4 cards this month because they just released the 3 that would have been this month. So I would assume at the beginning of next month we get 4 Series 3, and I'm going to guess there is no information on this whatsoever, that's the 3 cards that we're expecting, right?
Yeah. And
that's,
also I feel like that's the reason why we got to move Surge, like very bad choice of word at the moment, is because they released at the end of a season where we didn't really have anything else to play. If they actually released with Esme and Surge, that would have been such a crazy week, because then people would have a choice, because it would suddenly be like, all right, I want to test this card, but they don't go together. So like either you play like 4 hours a day and you have time to test everything, or like every day you actually can play like 3 or 4 decks during your week if you're like, let's say, a normal player that plays like half hour, an hour just to do your quest and then you're done.
So next month, let's assume Merlin week. I don't know what comes with Merlin. I think it might be Morgana. Hopefully it's not Morgana. Is it Morgana?
Let me look it up.
All right,
Isn't
so
Morgana
whatever.
Le Fay?
Yeah. So it's at least Merlin, who seems incredibly cool. And then let's assume for the moment, and it could be there's enough data in my cards, but let's assume that's Hellion, and that's
Mercury.
Mercury, that's the name of the card I was missing, and it's Quentin Quire. And now we've
Kid
got
Omega.
Kid Omega. Thank you, Quentin Quire. Is Kid Omega. Thank you. He mostly goes by his real name in the comics.
Okay.
But yeah, so like we've got those 3 new cards that don't have anything in common. And then we've got Merlin and whatever the fuck comes out with Merlin. So we should have 5 brand new like things to happen.
Wait, when does Merlin come out?
Next month, season pass. So the same week as that, we should have.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we should have
Those
5
cards are cool though.
Yeah, we should have 5 new cards, at least 4 of which are cool. I have no idea what the last one is. Is the last one Morgana?
Let me double check again.
Sorry.
Morgana supposedly is in the spotlights that week.
Yeah. Oh, is she? Well, not spotlights. There's no such thing.
Yeah.
But it is the card that comes out that week.
Yeah, Morgana Le
So,
Fay.
okay, Morgana. But Morgana is seemingly Alexa Zorn tier, but whatever. Probably a little better, but like not much. Yeah, I don't know. That's going to be a fucking cool week, though, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
like my head
card
is
anti-move,
explode.
destroy, and then you have the spells and stuff.
Yeah, my head is going to explode. Can Le Fay be good with no elixir? No, it can't. They don't. They
for my sleep schedule, please don't start a new podcast with the other card from the next.
Let's go. Oh, I pressed the wrong button. Totally.
Oh no.
Whee! All right. Our variant of the week is Bucky Barnes. Why? Because Thunderbolts. That's why.
Facts.
That's funny.
All right.
Y'all go see Thunderbolts.
Yeah. Go see Thunderbolts. It was genuinely one of the best Marvel movies of this phase. Top 3.
And it's got Bob. That's all there is to it. It's got Bob.
But not Hydra Bob.
I was actually a little sad. I forgot for a second. I was like, oh, that's not Hydra Bob. Damn it.
I knew who it was. All right. I picked the first one, which is the 1604 variant, as far as our variant of the week for Bucky. I think he looks really cool. It's a little too Winter Soldier for Bucky, but I don't give a shit because this guy has a crossbow. And that makes it the coolest version. Everyone else has guns, and guns are fine, but guns are boring. My man has a cape and a crossbow. Let's go. Then we have the ultimate / Venomized. Who that?
That's me.
And me.
Talk.
He gets a token. Like, come on, man. He has his own unique token.
The animation on the card is incredible too. Like the way the bullets are wavering within like the symbiote itself, and then the token is him holding the cap shield. Like that's freaking crazy.
Nick?
So what more do I need to say? Like he has his own token. Like literally, you had me at unique token. Outside of that, the card design is cool. It looks really nice. I'm sure with a crackle split, this looks even better. There's just a lot going on.
Oh, it does.
Besides Chase, who has a crackle on Bucky?
I do.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I don't even want to know how much money that cost you.
No.
Your child is no longer going to college.
I was a destroy enjoyer early in collection level, and then I got lucky on like split like 7.
Okay. Look, I have a gold Okoye. Shit happens. All right. I do. So, and then we have Noir, Den.
Yeah.
Wait, really? You picked Noir?
You asked
He's
me
French.
what my Bucky
Makes sense.
Barnes favorite variant was. I haven't played the card in years, so I opened the tab on Marvel Snaps and I was like, "Oh my god, that one's cool."
I mean, I appreciate the honesty, Den, if nothing else.
I mean,
He's also got a really cute bow tie.
he has a bow tie, and I'm sorry, Elixir isn't out yet, and I won't save it.
You could play Elixir and Bucky together. I don't know why you would, but you could.
Variants, I guess.
Yeah.
You're forgetting about the suspenders too. He does have the suspenders and the creepy white eyes. He lost his
No,
pupils
that's
at some point.
that's a domino mask.
Ah.
It's Bucky is very similar in like origin to Robin. So like he occasionally gets a domino mask.
Like
All right,
Jason Todd Robin.
Yeah. All right. No, that's a domino mask, not glasses. I don't believe those are glasses anyway. I could be wrong. But he's definitely got a domino mask in a lot of his art. All right. That's it. Follow Tucker on Twitter. Tucker, why should they follow you?
If you guys want some more off-meta style Marvel Snap content where I try not to play, the God tier or even like A tier style decks, I try to play more like the B, C, D. Sometimes I try to make F work, just depending. I'm a big Black Knight enjoyer, so that's probably another reason why I said Black Knight earlier. But if you guys just want more unique style decks as well as high energy, I do like thoroughly break down decks just like Glazer does too, card by card, line by line, as well as provide gameplay for the decks itself too. I usually do all my decks on stream as well. So like if you want to catch the gameplay live itself, you can watch it live on Twitch. And normally then those are uploaded on YouTube where I do a deeper dive on the decks itself and why we have each card in the list. And then we also do a buy or bust every week. So if you guys want to have opportunities to see what this new card might go and play into, or potentially if this card is actually worth spending your resources on or not, I do post that video every single week.
Yeah, you need to follow Tucker. Because this whole streaming career is buy or bust for his baby. He's got to get gold on Bucky Barnes. He's getting gold splits on Bucky fucking Barnes. You think
it's
this
inked
man
red
knows
Kirby? It's inked red Kirby, okay?
You think this man knows financial planning? He needs support. His baby needs your support. Go follow Tucker for his baby's sake. It's a newborn infant, and his father's sitting there splitting Bucky Barnes until he gets a God split
with 9 toes.
With 9 toes. The last one popped out of his wife. Are you kidding me? You gotta support Tucker. The content is amazing. He's an amazing human being and deserves your love and support. And the baby needs some freaking food and to go to school and so on. Because holy shit, Bucky Barnes splits, y'all. All right. Den.
Yes.
Fire away. Why should people read your stuff? Mostly on Snapzone because you gave up on Twitter.
Because it's 4:30 in the morning, and if that doesn't tell you I love the game, what is gonna do it?
I thought you just loved me. No, you should read Den on Marvel Snap.
And Glazer. I love Glazer as well. I don't think I would.
Too.
I mean, I'm not versed in a lot of podcasts, but I don't think I would accept a lot of people's invitation at this late in the night, to be honest.
So you should follow Den because he's the smartest person in the community. He's figured out how to Here's why. Ready?
Okay.
You gave up on Twitter entirely.
Yes.
Yeah. Did the rest of us give up on Twitter? No.
Okay.
We're all idiots. We're all idiots. Know why else Den is really, really smart? Den just bought a house from his content creating. Does Den have to worry about how many views his shit gets? No. He just has to write the article, publish it, goes on various websites. Everything's great for Den. Den's brilliant. Den has nailed this whole thing. The rest of us are like, oh man, a new card that sucks is going to bring down our views. Den's like, yeah, I don't care. I wrote the article. I got paid for it. We're
This
good.
card
Thanks.
is shit.
It doesn't fucking matter. It is irrelevant to Den's life. The rest of us are working so hard, and Den has this shit figured out. Not on Twitter with the brain rot and sitting there getting paid for the articles. All the wisdom in the world. That's why he deserves your support. If he's that smart, imagine what he has to say about cards. Make sure you're checking out Marvel Snap.
Most of the time, they're shit, and Sam Wilson should be nerfed. That's about my last month on Marvel Snap.
I mean, in fairness, Sam Wilson really needs to be nerfed.
Yep. Make it a 2 minus 15 about that. I think it's fair.
Tell us how you really feel, Dan.
About Sam Wilson?
If Sam is nerfed, Prodigy is
I really
much
think
worse.
that card is hurting the game, and if the next OTA is on May 29, like it's announced, I might quit Marvel Snap by then.
Wow.
I mean, the next OTA is definitely May 29th.
Definitely, yeah. But like, I mean, I don't know. That card has way too many synergies to be a 2/7. I mean,
Look, Merlin's going to take that shit out.
Like, when did you release? Is it February? January?
Yeah.
No, January is Iron Patriot. So this is February.
It's February.
So this like 3 full months, and he has been most popular card of the game for 3 full months.
It's like Loki all over again, you know?
and I still hear people saying, but it didn't break any like of our lines or anything. Of course, the card is in 60% of the games. It just does mirror matches, so the stats looks okay.
But I run the Captain America version of Falcon when I play my Falcon, and I have people all the time being like, why aren't you playing Sam? And I'm like, because I would bounce all my ones. It's the best. Happens on stream a lot. So I would lose that if they nerfed him, because then they would know that I'm not running that card, because it would be terrible.
But now it's a 0, so you're
nothing.
okay.
Playing
The card
the
should,
long game there.
the card
It's
should
a
not.
0. It's okay.
The card should be a 2-0, but it's fine. We did last week. We did a whole podcast where we redesigned Sam Wilson for like 25 minutes.
And you didn't invite me for that?
You told me this is the week that you wanted to be on.
Yeah, because I actually got blinds 2 days ago, so now I can sleep in the morning. This is the real reason. They installed it yesterday.
I got once more the smartest man at Marvel Snap.
Oh my god.
Well, I'm gonna
Congratulations
stay up late.
on the
Wow.
blinds, though, Dan. Like,
Thank
kudos.
you so much. They actually messed it up, and they have to come back in a month. But they could they're supposed to install 7 of them, and they could only install 2. And I told them I want some in my room. I have a podcast. I need
That's
to
amazing.
sleep.
How can they not? Whatever. All right.
The
not
measurements
the smartest
were wrong.
blinds installers.
No, the
That's their
measurements
job.
were
Their
wrong.
job is to measure and install blinds. How do you screw up the one thing? Like,
Because the
make blinds?
walls in my house aren't like
Says my
regular.
tech guy whose
Like,
computer
you
is
need
always
to
exploding.
take 2 measurements, like the start and the end, and they only took the middle, so some plates don't fit. And also they messed up stuff that they were supposed to mess up, so it's like a lot of things.
Again, they're
Fair.
a blinds company. These are the things that they're supposed to get right. Tech is different. Tech isn't walls, but is it? Does it have anything to do
Firewalls.
with living in France?
All right.
I don't know. Probably. I guess the freedom thing applies to blind makers as well.
There you go.
It's like, I would assume. I don't know. I'll ask them. I was like, next time they
You're
come,
gonna
I'll
come
be
in,
like, if
you're
this
gonna be
was
like, "Get-"
America, would you be missing my blinds like that?
Exactly.
I mean, honest to God, no. They would install them first, but then they would immediately rot your wall and fall out, so it wouldn't be better. And then they'd be like, you thought you had insurance for it? Fuck you.
Oh, yeah.
That's basically
Okay,
how
I'll take
America works.
I'll take friend.
Ugh,
Mine
insurance. All right.
are insured for 10 years, except I don't have them, so I don't know what's insured right now, but like...
Yeah. Nothing's insured here. It's fine. We have insurance. It's just like, we're like, let's put in a claim, and then the insurance is like, we're not paying for that. What the fuck? Who told you to get sick? And then you have to
This
fight
is
with
why
them for
you
6
guys like
months.
Marvel Snap so much. Because it's the same system. It's like, they change cards, and they're like, you didn't like it now.
That's messed up. All right. Nick, you don't get your own slide because you're technically a host.
That's fine.
Should people follow you?
Probably. I mean, if they want
how
to.
many
They're
how many
welcome
times
to.
are you going to stream in? What month is this? May.
May. I guarantee at least 3 times.
That's over. The
Exactly.
over under is now 3. Will
There you
he
go.
do under 3 or over 3? The over under is actually the over under has to be 2.5.
I mean, he has to stream at least once during the Xorn week, or nobody is going to do it.
Fair.
I'm going to be the
You
one
defended-
holdout.
You have defended
I'll
the
save
card.
getting to Infinite until Zorn releases, and then I will get to Infinite using Zorn.
Ping me when that happens.
It won't
I'll
be on
watch
it won't be
Zorn.
on purpose though. It's just that's going to be
Make me purchase that snapback. It's on you. It's on you.
I am the one person holding up Zorn as a potential. All right.
All right. Let us finish this up with certain tiers support on our Patreon come with on-air thanks. I'm going to say thank you to as many people as I can, as fast as I can. All right. First, our patron of the month is Bricks to Click. Thank you to Abigail, Lisa, Manager, Brenda, Arigalis, LAB, Inkine, Frost, and Hooked, and Everett, Think, Poker, Prime, Brian, Ryan, Burke, Ryan Wood, Ryan Wrench, Caretaker, Lee, Quarry, because it's your control through K, Black Dahlia, Prime, Frost, the Goat Seeker, Code, Hollowed, Only Fox, Synth, Nick, Absolute Shannon, Nightmare, Dirty Casual, Mr. Kerfuffle, Cables, Ginger Prime, Phil, Bracco, Chaplow, Kenny Levels of the Dangers of the Biz, Black Jeeps, 23, Experts, V, and Skippy G, Jessica Gamble, Mr. Slush, Death, the King of Bros, Great Kazoo, Werewolf, Kazuhoda, Lunicrous, Clam, Colonel Forbin, Rob Simon, M. Holland, David G. Wingfield, Stephen Brian, Coffin, Tristan Martin, Jason B, Mr. Craig, Sterry, Matt V, Corey, Corbin, John Q, Jimmy Q, Yes, Ace Age, One Big Man, Milkman for real, Cactus Stack, Reapser, BG, Quipper, Joe, Snap, Decision Joe, Dick Carlo, Models, Monster Supreme, Boombot, Green Goblin, Unibot, Flump, 26 Thief, Special Mix, Hoot, Oculars, Hey, Acu, Matt H, DJ Mac Aging, No, Freaking Flex, Nick the Greek King, Hey, Nick, Toxic Soul King, Zodrix, the King of Canada, Den Man, Falcon, Father, Newman, Jonesy, Two Times, the Rippler, the Pirate King Tucker, and of course, hey, the Pirate King Tucker, and of course, Gunny T, where the T stands for the Pirate King Tucker. Support his baby. He can't make financial decisions. I swear, Bucky is split. That's it.
Oh, you're.
And anybody want to say bye? Anybody
How
want to
does
say
my
bye?
mouth go faster
Bye.
than my eyes is a mystery.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Peace.